Hi value lady, welcome to the video, and this video will talk about our system that shows you exactly how to reduce your cravings, how to reduce your stress, how to cope with negative emotion and emotional eating such that you can finally build the body that you want in 90 days or less. Now, what we're gonna go into today is really about our system, and specifically part 3, phase 3 of our system, which basically shows you how to be accountable and shows you how we support, okay? And again, this is part of a bigger phase, a bigger system, right? As you can see here, we have our 3 phases, and each phase have 3 steps, right? Each phase holds 3 steps, and basically you need to consequentially go from step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until 9 to be able to get results, okay? And again, you'll see how this create context for you later on. But again, today we're talking about accountability and how do you go from stop falling off the wagon to be able to maintain a lifestyle, basically learning how to get support and accountability every single day, okay? So we need to design your perfect life once we finally build the body that you want, and finally when we deconstructed you and we rebuilt you on the first 2 phases. You will learn how to go from a quitter to basically maintain a lifestyle. And again, when I talk about that, and I talk on that way, is because I see all the time that people want to learn motivation, want to get motivation, yet when you stop seeing results, your motivation dies, and thus you need to learn how to build habits. We'll do that later on in the training, okay? If you fail at this specific step, it's because you haven't yet learned how to stop looking for motivation and how to build habits. And again, we start basically on the first part of the system of the first, actually this is, let me just correct, this is actually pillar 3, not pillar 1. Pillar 3 goes from falling off the bandwagon to be able to build a lifestyle. And why can you not stick? And again, I'm talking here about this 3 or 4 people that answered a poll inside our group that I asked, what you struggling with the most? And I gave 3 or 4 options. And one thing that came up all the time was I cannot stick to anything. I cannot stick to a protocol. I cannot stick to a diet. And I cannot be able to thus keep results, okay? Now, if the reason I'm gonna talk about today are not the one that you particularly, as I will tell you, these are not the reason why you cannot stick to something, let me know what is your reason. Let me know why you don't stick to anything in particular, okay? And again, this might go back into not knowing the skills of the foundation, the previous pillar, or might go back even to not be able to get self-control over emotional food. But if you're here and if you got some results, and if you lose kilos, right, and then gain it back, and you go from losing and gaining the same 5 kilo over and over, chances are you are missing these 3 steps here. And these 3 steps are getting clarity. You go from uncertain and getting clarity, and basically not knowing what to track. You don't know that you should be tracking this particular metrics, and you keep battling your scale. So you basically go making the mistakes that pretty much all the women make, and not understanding that your measurements might get smaller and bigger, yet you keep this idea of you wanting to look at the scale all the time. Or you don't look at pictures, right? Like you want to look better. This is why you're doing something. Originally should be to get more healthy, but most of you, when I talk to them on the phone and I ask, why do you want to lose weight? Why do you want to lose 5 or 10 kilo? Oh, because I want to look better. I want to get more confidence. I want to wear the clothes that I want. Yet, when you're looking at whether or not you're getting results, you're looking at the scale. And this is the big problem, because you might get results, you don't know you're getting results. And again, your measurements might be bigger, or you might be 1 kilo extra, and you retaining some water, you're building some muscle, and that's good news, right? And you might even look better. So the problem is that when you look at the wrong things, you feel like you're losing weight and you don't get motivated to do something, and then you quit, okay? So here, in this specific slide here, shows our client on the right, that on the right, she looks much better than on the left, and she went from 25% to 18%, on the right 18%, yet she weighed more. She weighed, I think, a kilo more, right? And again, you don't see cellulitis anymore, you don't see water retention, you see the veins on the stomach, you see clearly the abs compared to the other one. And as a result, of course, like this person weighed more. So if she went ahead and thought, oh, I'm weighing more, I'm gonna quit, you know, chances are like the problem was not what she was doing. So she didn't stick to an approach because she was doing something wrong. She just didn't know what she was doing, right? Now, not knowing what to do is only one thing. I mean, not being certain whether or not you're getting results or not be able to positively tracking is only one of the two steps of basically what happens when you hit a plateau, okay? There are real plateaus, and most guru will make you feel like you're full of crap, and you feel like that's not true. Like you're not really hitting a plateau, just keep going and everything. You know, there is realistic biological changes happening in your body that makes you lose 5 kilo and makes you rebound and getting that 5 kilo back. So if you're in this cycle all the time, as most of you been here for years right now, there is a way for you to not get back to where you originally started. And this is the understanding that, you know, eating less and exercising more, or living in this dieting mentality, whether it's keto, paleo, whatever you're doing, is the wrong way. There are at least 3 other switch or toggles that you need to jump on when we talk about metabolism that technically shows you to how to break plateaus, that makes you break biological plateaus. When we think about 2,000 calories, and I need to lose, and you want to lose weight, you need to create a deficit, whether you work out more or you eat less, or both. Working out more and eating less, in this case, you create 500 calorie deficit, right? Right now, you're successful. When a diet makes you cut off food, restrict, or creating 1,000 calorie deficit in a day, you will soon compensate. Okay, so the first thing you need to understand, and this is not in this particular step, but you need to create a sustainable deficit. Yet one time, and usually this happens anywhere from 2 weeks to a month, you will hit a plateau. And if your plateau is longer than 2 or 3 weeks and you don't get results after 2 or 3 weeks, chances are the plateau is real. So how do you break that? Is basically moving this up like that. So basically you go from eating more and exercising more. You become like an athlete, right? Have you ever seen an athlete out of shape? Usually not, but have you seen how much they eat? Whether or not it's good food or bad food, is energy, right? They eat more. Or you could go all the way down. You could still create a deficit by you moving more, doing a lot of walking, eating less, and exercising less. By moving less and exercising less, chances are you're not that hungry, and chances are you still get results. Or if nothing really works on that sense, you can basically cancel this thing off for about 2 weeks. And you can slightly go from eating more and even moving less, creating almost a surplus. But what that does most of the time, it relaxes you. It allows you to get the stress off. And most of the time you go into vacation and you come back, you see this particular result. In our program, a crucial step is really showing you how to visual change. I mean, how to track your visual changes, how to take your picture, how to take your measurements, how those new measurements will dictate, whether or not you need to adjust your calorie. And again, if you have to lose anywhere from 10 to 15 or even 20 kilo, chances are you're not even gonna have to count calories, okay? And again, this facilitates everything. And again, it is very important for you to be able to understand this pillar entirely, this step entirely, and to make sure that you have certainty on what to do and you're doing the right things, because that's going to allow you to stop wasting your time and feel like you're wasting your time. Secondly, you need to move on and go from the unrealistic expectation to finally build a realistic expectation. I'm not going to pretend that genetics doesn't count, but also I'm not going to tell you that you need to listen to all these people telling you, making you do all these mistakes all the time, that unless you have a specific look, right? You know, you're not worthy, your self-esteem should be less, you should do that, you should redo that, you should have fake boobs, you should do surgery to make your stomach look more flat. So there is a lot of expectation and there is a lot of emotion attached to that. Chances are, if you're here watching and you haven't let go of your baggage, chances are this is part of it, okay? Unrealistic expectation will do something very silly to you. It's basically telling your internal clock that other people are getting more results faster than you. Thus, I need to quit. Thus, I need to change an approach, and I'm not gonna stick to this approach that is working, but it's not working as fast as I want, and I'm gonna go to something that works better. Most of the time, not successfully, okay? Instead, You need to put yourself out of the comfort zone. You need to get out of the comfort zone every single day, even though it's tough. And you need to learn how to do that persistently, because that is going to allow you to build a new vision. It's going to allow you to become this new woman that you want to become. And it's going to allow you to see that the vision you're building is real and it's doable and it's sustainable. Okay. That takes me to the last part. You need to go from building something sporadic to building something habitual. We said before that the major problem on not being accountable is because you're not able to go from motivation to habits, right? Motivation, as you lose the first 3 or 4 kilos, is really quickly, but then you're going to have to put more effort to see results. As you put more effort and less results are shown, the motivation dies. So instead, you need to go from building habits, which is really tough in the beginning, yet allows you to see the results and the benefit and feeling better in such a short period of time that if you do that consistently, it's going to save you a lot of time. You took probably a few years, maybe 3 or 4, to build this inconsistency, this 20 kilo, these bad habits into your life. You can fix everything in a few months if you do that correctly. Okay, and if you stop looking for the shiny object and instant gratification and strategy, which is basically 20%. You need to start building an environment favorable for that. You need to start building habits, routines, and rituals, allowing you to build a foundation and the life standards that you need in order to build this body and this image, whether or not this is what you want. Okay, this is an example. You just need to build the better you, but you need to understand that whether or not this is feasible. And one more time, I'm not going to pretend that this is where you need to get, nor I'm not going to tell you that genetic doesn't play a role, but chances are, if you haven't built the body that you want yet, it's because of routines, lack of ritual, lack of habits, and the inability to want to let go of the identity you built as a woman. You might look in a certain way, the identity you have inside is as of the bigger girl, the emotional eater, the low self-esteem, unconfident girl, sometimes the procrastinator, right? And as a result of that, you need to learn how to plan out everything into your life and become organized as you maybe are in the other part of your life, right? That's going to allow you to build habits. It's going to allow you to learn things, how to meal prep. It's going to allow you to reflect on the end of the week and getting better next week, such that you build these habits that is going to make you go from inspired to motivated to discipline and planning stuff, such that you can build the passion behind the results you need to get. Mimi understood that very well. She came with me with a traumatic past. She came with me with a lot of stories, that were holding her back. Letting go of that not only show her visual change, but changing completely her life. She said, you read right. I'm rewarding myself with a 2 hours in the gym session. Yes, this is basically what's happening to me. So basically, you see how you can gain benefit from doing that. Okay. And again, this is why our 3-main system produced over 600 life changes. Okay, you might feel like 600 is not a lot of life changes, but think about it. It's not about losing 5 kilos and getting it back in the summer. It's about completely changing your life. You get the first pillar, getting in control. You build the knowledge and the skills, and then the accountability to keep it. Now, today we are talking about this. You don't go here if you're, for example, stories are holding you back. If you have baggage and you cannot change the identity, and the problem is that you cannot upgrade yourself, the identity of the woman you need to build because you have story holding you back of trauma, let's say somebody died, you were sexually abused or whatever case might be, and that make you feel low worth or sad or lonely, and then you use food to medicate negative emotion, right? You don't get in control of that. You don't fix this thing first. You cannot go here. You cannot tell me that then you don't stick to anything. It's important to understand this first. Can you just go and look for strategy to look to nutrition? I mean, our strategy will definitely make you lose weight and make you feel better, but you're never tackling the real problem. This is why you need to tackle all this step by step. And again, before you get to step number 3, you need to tackle all the steps before. And if you want a video here to learn all that in specifics, stay in our group and actually keep liking and sharing this thing, because it's going to show you exactly how to do it. But secondly, our program make you go from step by step, giving you all the resources of the guide and making sure you know that you're hitting the goals. If you're hitting the goals from this, then you move here, right? And again, we use support calls, we use personalized calls, we use software that shows you how to work out, shows you the exercises. We use guides and recipes and video for knowing exactly how to eat, how to calculate how much you're supposed to be eating, how to make sure, you know, without using restrictive diet or taking off food, that you're still getting results. We show you how to track that you are getting results. And last but not least, of course, the whole system that's gonna take you from an emotional eater to in control of food, building the body you want. Now, what I want you to do here, first and foremost, if you are in the group, comment down below your learnings. Let me know if there's something that you wish I had covered more in detail. And specifically, if you feel like I can help you, let me know, because I'm gonna give you a link to schedule one of the 10 spots in this month, in these calls, that is gonna, so we can actually get in clear of why you're not getting results, why you keep using food to medicate your never giving motion, why, you know, what game plan you need to build in order to realize in order to embark in this journey, but also to get to the results. And specifically, also if you see that in a email or something, this video will go also in emails. Let me know how can I best assist you. Let me know what you're struggling with. By you jumping on the call, by you getting to the detail, this call, which is free, is worth $1,000, but it's free. You're gonna be able to get this specific website that is responsible to have built 600 plus life changes in less than 2 years, okay? So with this being said, hopefully I covered everything you want. Coach Jerry here, and I see you in the next video.